I was just trying to figure out kind of that lapse, but I think you've answered that.
Yeah, man, those two things I think put me in a depression. And then after depression, comes drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? And then after that, you just, your art is the first thing to go. You know, you lose your edge, and then you're no longer at the top of your performance. And if you're smart like me, you just kind of stop working. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to put out half-ass material and then not want to actually do the work that it takes to, further the music? You know what I mean? I wasn't in a good space to do music, and I stopped doing music for a long time. I tried to get jobs, and I worked some jobs too. And, I, I would try to get friends, which are mainly people in the industry that help me get a job for years. It's like, man, I really need a good job. And everywhere that I went, people would say, fuck you, go back to music and finish off your music career. And I think it's easy for people to say that, but it's very hard to do, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, once you're 6 months out of writing raps and 6 months out of having your finger on the pulse of it all, you're like washed up damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no idea what's going on. You don't know where the edge is anymore. You know what I'm saying? And so you're not as skilled of an artist. And I stopped rapping, man. And you mentioned that I was on other people's albums. I was featured on other people's stuff. When people would call and offer me money, and then sometimes, people that just, that I respected and I felt like I couldn't say no to, would ask me to jump on a song, I felt obligated. And they were the moments where, you even realize that you can keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to do music, but I'm going to do it because, I don't want the embarrassment of someone saying, yeah, I offered 10 money to do a verse and he didn't even come to do the verse. You know what I mean? And so I did music, and, it just showed me that I still had skills, and I felt like it gave people a pacifier of really wanting me to do records. And then even when I wanted to do music again, it got to the point where I felt like if I couldn't put them out in a decent manner, that I wasn't even going to put out music. You know what I mean? And so that's what Brain Damage was really. It was a concept that took a long time to finish the album because I wasn't really trying to work. You know what I mean? And, I guess I fell out of love with music, which, when music was all you really had, that really becomes a pit that you do not want to crawl into, because it's really a hard hole to crawl out of. You know what I'm saying?
It's your life. It's your life.
It's your life. And not only that, but if you want your life back, if you sat around and did not work on your craft for 5 years or 10 years or whatever, and then you think you're going to go back to it all willy-nilly easy, you ain't gonna get your skills back easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? It took me years to get my pen back to where I felt like I could write my raps around any of these niggas. You know what I mean? It took a minute to get to the point where I thought I was dope again with my pen. I'm going to say a year and a half before I thought I was decent, and 3 years of practicing before I thought I was good again. Which then you get Akhenaten, right? Which is one of the records that I put out. And, you know, one of my buddies, my buddy Jonah, he says, you know, I've been a fan of you since the beginning. He said, but I think you're better now. He says, I like Akhenaten better than any of your other works that you've ever put out. You know what I'm saying? And to me, if you know Jonah, which I know you don't, he's very particular about the hip hop that he likes, and that he felt that my latest at whatever 50 something years old was my best work. That really let me know, you know, that I had actually done what a lot of people can't do, which is leave a thing for 10 years, 20 years, come back to it and get themselves back to the point where they were better than when they left. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I also think on Akhenaten too, there's songs on there like Heavenly and Love Us, I Wish You Loved, that I don't think you would have made earlier in your career or your life.
That's true.
Moon Rocks I could see, but not the other ones.
Well, I have to give my wife's, she's influenced me. My wife has influenced me. Someone said it not the other day, but a couple of months ago, and it made me mad. One of our friends said, I can hear your influence in his music, and it made me mad. I'm like, man, that's not true. He hasn't influenced me. But she has. And I think it's a softer side of me that I wasn't willing to let bloom or blossom until I got married. Are you married?
I'm engaged.
Well, haven't been married before?
I have.
Okay. So you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. It does something to you because you're no longer singular, which I think I was, even when I had my baby mother, I still thought I was single. Here, I'm quite aware of the fact that I'm not single. You know what I mean? That we're in a world together. You know what I mean? And I'm not one brain anymore. It's really two brains now. You know, and whether you like it or not, having a woman, having that softer side of things around you is going to soften you up a little bit. You know what I mean? And, you know, and not having them makes you harder because it's a harder world for you, not having a woman. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of mothering going on, you know, in my household. You know what I'm saying? And so she's probably the most influence on that. But at the same time, I want, you know, I have to acknowledge women, which is something that I don't think I wanted to do in my career. I think it's something that a lot of hardcore hip hop fans don't want to embrace, which I feel like is probably a mistake. You know what I mean? Because I think the music comes off, egotistical, I guess is the word. One of the words I can use, even demeaning towards women, and I would have to admit that I've also been a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I think we've all used the word bitch way too much. You know what I mean? And at this point in my life, I don't want to exclude women, you know what I mean, in my music or my life. You know what I mean? I think I think in the climate of the United States, you can very easily become bitter. If you're a man, bitter towards women, even if you're not. You know what I'm saying? And, it is what it is. The music is what it is. I'm happy to embrace the softer side of who I am in my music, and Tamiko Hawkins is definitely one of my influences here of lately. That Akhenaten album and this Dean Hawkins album is definitely, she's definitely the reasons for them.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.